Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rex and this is Factorio review by the channel MandaloreGaming. Yes, I don't think I've done a MandaloreGaming video, I think, right? People have been telling me to do this for a while now, so what the hell, let's do the Factorio one. Factorio is a great game. I saw the review from Seth Tech, right? So Seth has a tendency to, I guess, create a review in a way that even if a game sucks, right, his review just makes it sound really better. So it's really confusing to know which game is actually better or not. But Factorio, I didn't need to listen to a review really. Just the concept of it is ridiculous. You basically go to a planet and use your skill of creating machines and factory, whatever. You just create ridiculous type of factory, you know, machines, mechanisms or whatever, and create a factory, Factorio, right? And then defend it in a way. It uses, you know, it has an electricity grid and everything. So if you just create a ridiculous amount of factory and, you know, I guess different machines and things, it could, you know, short circuit the grid, because obviously you have to check for the power usage as well. And if you do that and at that time, I guess something attacks your factory, right? If something attacks your factory, you're gonna need power to defend, I guess, your factory, right? But if you're already running at the limit, it's gonna create short circuit. So it's all this concept. When I heard it, it's like, holy shit, this is so good. It's probably addictive, right? It's Mandalore says the same thing. Factorio 1.1 has hit. And after playing it on and off in early access, I've come to play it again. Big surprise, it's still dangerously addictive. Help. Yeah, to me, only seeing it feels addictive. So I'm definitely gonna check this game out soon, right? I don't have much time now, but as soon as I have time, this is definitely on my list. Like, holy shit, this will be really fun. Because in just Fallout 4, which is settlement building system, is not that great. But I remember there was a period of time where I really sank in hours just to create shit. So I really like building things, and Factorio feels like, you know, really next level shit when it's about creating things. So yeah, let's do this one. You know, MandaloreGaming, enough people told me I should definitely do a review, and there are many videos from this. So I guess, you know, don't forget to like, if you like this reaction and this MandaloreGaming channel, don't forget to hit the like button so I would know if I do more MandaloreGaming video or not. Check out the link in the link in the description. Check out the classic link, and yeah, let's watch it. There you go.
Factorio is a factory construction and survival game. Covering every detail would drive me more into the abyss. At the time of recording, it's dark outside. I don't know if I'm closer to the sun setting or rising. People call this game Cracktorio for good reason. I've always had to be careful with it. I could never seem to play just a bit of Factorio. Like any hard drug, you can go, that looks fun, but by the time you recognize you're in the spiral, it's already too late. The premise itself is deceptively simple. You've crash landed.
That is, I mean, how are you supposed to play a bit when game is like this? I mean, you create a contraption or whatever, a factory setting, right? But then you can create it more better. Why wouldn't you do that? And once you do that, now you have more resources to make it even more complex and better. You're like, if I did this, why wouldn't I do this more? Of course it's going to be addictive. This game looks ridiculous.
Ended on an alien planet and need to figure out how to build a rocket to escape it. At the same time, you need to deal with the locals. They're not too happy about you dumping uranium in their water supply and everything else you get up to. You know how in Subnautica, Space Law says you're not allowed to 3D print guns? In Factorio, you make rogue nuclear weapons. Then you could slap a multi-nuke launcher in a spider mech just to see if there's a god out there that'll stop you. Well, they're either not here or they approve of my actions.
Brain bugs! Frankly, I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive.
So you need to get to space by any means necessary. And any means necessary always means expanding the factory. There are plenty of game modes, including multiplayer with PvP, a map editor, scenarios, you name it. But for this, I'll mainly be focusing on free play, the chosen way. It has tons of options, and you can customize your game how you see fit. Factorio is not instantly overwhelming, it's a journey. So I'm going to start off small and then work my way up. From a humble craftsman to a Dateline NBC story. I find Factorio visually appealing, in the same way as I did for Brigador. All the machinery in the game has an insane amount of detail to it. The animation and resolution is great, and it should be for a game about factories. But the scale the game could get to is gigantic. This one here is pretty compact by Factorio's standards. You could go with a sprawling main bus design with efficient and beautiful parallel production, but that would make too much sense and bugs keep attacking me.
Beautiful parallel production. This just makes me think, what if somebody has strong OCD? What would happen to them? What kind of a construction they would do? Because even small thing that doesn't look right, they're like, fuck it, I have to do this again. Oh my god, that would be a hell for them. Or depending on the person, maybe certain people who has OCD, if they just have to make something right, it feels like hell to them. Most people have that issue, but there are some people who find joy into it, right? Like, this is a task, like I have to make this right and actually feel fun. I mean, those are the lucky ones, right, who find that fun. But they would create ridiculous type of factories.
So instead of being an architectural Rain Man, you could just be a spaghetti chef like me. You might even have a magical Mechanicus moment, where after dozens of hours playing, you're not entirely sure how the factory works anymore. Where does light oil go? I don't know. Why is this belt such a mess? Did I fix it, or was there a reason and I broke something? At this point, a stranger could reasonably understand the Wonka factory better. So the assets are great, but the readability of your factory is all on you. These are some filthy machines, and you'll see the effects of their pollution over time. Once again, there's a lot of detail here. Pollution is a trackable stat. How much a tree absorbs is based on its leaf density. They really spared no expense here. Pollution.
Oh my god, there's even pollution. How good is this game? You have to check out for your power grid, you have to check out for pollution as well.
Also has an effect on the neighboring aliens. Consuming pollution makes them evolve into larger and deadlier forms, and soon they'll be at the door to rip down your factory. The aliens and their weapons are all biological, the perfect enemy. At the same time, they're interesting. I'm not sure if natural creatures would want to rip down the buildings giving them growth hormone. And while they are horrible bugs, they also have these big expressive eyes. So they're strangely cute. Maybe other aliens made them to protect the planet. But you know what? Them pooping in the woods and not using a cell phone doesn't make them better than me. Factorio also comes with a pleasant soundscape. The hum of industry is ever present.
Oh, the music.
Hey, war's my business too. The actual quality of sound effects does jump around a bit. The important thing is that it's never grating. It gets the job done. The sound even reduces when you open up your inventory, just to help you concentrate better.
Music is really important, right, when it comes to games. Lots of people don't realize that music really makes the game. If your music is just perfect, obviously everything has to be right to other things small, but music is also integral to, I guess, make a game epic. I mean, every time I bring up Elder Scrolls or something, and people get pissy about it. But that's where my gaming experience peaked when I was a kid, right? So usually I compare things to that, whether it's comparable or not. But we are talking about music. So I remember in Skyrim, at the start of the game, when you come out of a cave, right? Not just start. I mean, after you go to Whiterun, you go out, clear a bandit cave, right? At the night, you come out, and then there is this kind of a very calm music plays, very calm, and this is night, right? You can see two moons up in sky. You can see very distant Bleak Falls Barrow. You can see the Whiterun and its castle and everything, and this music plays, and I still have that memory in my head, and even 50 years from now I will remember that. So music is really important when it comes to games, and music so far looks great. And so in this game, we are the enemies. That it, we are the bad guy. We create this kind of ridiculous factories, create pollution, and all this, natural wildlife basically gets fed up and try to attack us. Is that it?
The music follows the same kind of direction. The tracks range from being tense to kind of lonely, but never too distracting to your work. Think of it like study music.
Nice.
I really don't have much to say on it. Like the factory itself, it works fine. So that brings us to the gameplay, and the constant struggle. The factory must grow. It looks like Pol Pot over here is angry about the latest oil refinery. That's no problem. If you've seen the trailers or a high-end factory, the game might look overly complex, but it's really not. Things start out easy. There are plenty of tutorials you can use to master the harder stuff. For a brief time, you mine resources by hand. This is basically a joke, but it does teach you what can be collected because you're not a god machine yet. You use miners that are slow and use fuel, but automate the process. So that'll work for a while and you might find some tricks, but there must be a better way, and there is. Electrical miners are way better, but they need power. So you get a boiler and steam engine to power the grid. With belts and a robotic inserter arm, it even fuels itself. But a single engine only makes so much power, so you need to make more, which means more fuel. The ore you collect is smelted down into plates. In turn, they go inside of an assembler to make an item, and more items can go in more assemblers.
I don't want to pause too much, but you know, this is just too much incredible things. I love complexity like that. Like, okay, I could use this, but this is better, but that requires fuel. Okay, so I need fuel, but for fuel I need to build this thing. But okay, this engine is better. So it's just so much layers to it, right? So when you started doing one thing, you end up creating whole chain of things before getting that thing, and you realize you spend 8 or 9 hours straight just doing that. This is why this game is addictive, and I love it.
Green chip, red chip, blue chip, robot. That's the beauty of Factorio. They're relatively simple tasks, but they feed into complicated outcomes. You're also not overwhelmed because you don't start with everything from the get-go. You need to research them through technology. That's done by feeding items into a lab building. So the factory is constantly thirsty for brain potions. But the more you feed it, the more wonders you unlock. Take the bugs. Sure, you could just go shoot the bugs, but with research you could set up a wall and turret choke point. However, gun turrets need to be loaded, so I went and made a mini ammo factory for the wall. It's a shooting gallery down there, but it'll be hard for the guns to run dry. That is, until the bugs start getting bigger. While the laser turrets never run dry. As long as the power grid holds up, I should be fine. As it turns out, lasers need a lot of power. Bugs at the wrong time can mean the entire factory shuts down.
I didn't like that.
Flamethrower turrets are good, but need
so
oil,
good.
and the bugs are on the oil. So it's back to the lab.
Music.
Custom power
Like
armor is usually a
parties
good
going.
solution, but an expensive one. There are tons of ways to approach most problems, and Factorio will constantly having you say, you can do that? Because sure, you could upgrade belts or have belts upgraded for you, but you could use a completely new method like trains. Multiple trains, all running automatically on the same network with a signal system. Better fuel gives better speed and acceleration, so the next thing you know, you want nuclear trains. Factorio has options that let you go deeper here, but you don't have to. There's an entire circuit and signal system to learn. You never really need it. The thing is, nuclear trains are fast. They kept teaching me hard lessons when I wasn't paying attention.
It's coming. Get off the trains.
Get off. That was so close. Now I could
Oh my god, that is so fucked up. Imagine you create all this factory, create a train, then you create a nuclear train, your own fucking train runs you over and you're dead. And what, factory is just gonna run until it runs out of power because you died. One person who has any brain to do any of this shit. I mean, this whole concept of a game is ridiculous, right? You just basically land on a planet like, okay, what is your skill? Are you a marksman? Are you, great at swords and shit? Oh, no. I have a master's degree in engineering. And you just like, oh yeah, where's my tools at? Just start building this shit. This is a great concept.
just OSHA the place up. And I did, but I also learned enough about signals to make an alarm. Because the last thing I need are more workplace accidents.
Get that suit off, man. You're in trouble. Don't worry, I'll heal you.
How bad is it?
You've got a minor blunt force trauma. I recommend eggs.
There's the option to forego trains and make really long belts and pumps. How about a logistics network for robots? Items can be sent where they need to go or brought to you automatically. Hell, they can build and maintain on their own. You can ascend from your body and control everything with robots. The release version added a Spider-Tron robot mech thing, which you can equip with a grid just like power armor, so you can build one with robots and blueprints and send it out into the wild to make a new base. I enjoy games that scale from you being a doofus into a god. This is a good one of those. You go from learning about belts and coal to mastering uranium enrichment and nuclear
I
power.
thought Train was gonna run over the fucking robot, but I guess robot is much bigger than Train.
There's always something more to learn or do. You're constantly after the next big building or tech or upgrade. It's a lot to do, and as a wise man once said, Ritalin really helps. This also ties into what makes the multiplayer so worthwhile. Any game is
Wait a
fun
minute,
with
is that what Seth said, right? I remember Ritalin or something like that. Seth's title had that, right?
friends. We all know that. Factorio does support things like that with aspects like having multi-crewed vehicles, but there's a more meta aspect to it. The game has so much in it that it's likely other players know stuff that you don't. When did they add filters into splitters? You get more quick bars from the interface menu? Oh.
I will begin the depopulation process.
I could talk a long time on how many systems there are and all the things you can do, but that's just an instruction manual at that point. This has just been a peek into the veil of madness. It's dangerously addictive, but there are some shortcomings. Most I don't notice until I'm dozens of hours in and it's too late for me, but here's an example. The concrete. You can place it down to move much faster, and it's used in some higher-end buildings. For a much higher investment, you can turn it into refined concrete. You can put this down to move...
Yeah, you should put a concrete because you're not a savage. Why wouldn't you have a fucking road from going one place to another? That's the first thing I would do as soon as I create something. Like, okay, now things are becoming something. Like, you need fucking concrete roads. I love it. Even the train has levels, right? I mean, I still get past that. Like, okay, train. Oh, fuck it. You have to create a nuclear train. You need more fuel and everything. Oh, God, this is good.
Slightly faster and nothing else. No higher tier walls or buildings, nothing. So to compare the investment, it just doesn't seem worth it. Just strange gaps like that. You have 3 types of furnaces, but only 2 kinds of drills. A few buildings seem like they could use a variant or at least some more tech. The game wants you to use modules and beacons, but that always pales in comparison to shiny new buildings. I also find the endgame kind of weak. The aliens only have 2 kinds of units to send at your base, and while they do get bigger and meaner, they're not very challenging or exciting. I've yet to see them breach the self-replicating minefield. Maybe
I mean, you just created an automation powerhouse. I mean, you can't really blame the bugs. You want them to, what, evolve faster, just like you can create new technologies? I mean, you just made the OP shit.
building the rocket silo could send them into a frenzy. Let's see how strong the factory really is. You have the option to stay on the planet and research repeatable techs, but it doesn't feel like much, and it's already overkill. If the enemies were deadlier, the Spidertrons could be great to focus on. Maybe give them something like a virtual rail patrol path. Truly ascend into almost StarCraft instead of the remote that doesn't, well, it has issues. Also, what is this blueprint save system? I mean, it's like separated, but no. Of course, it's really easy to think of things to just add on to Factorio. I won't be going down that rabbit hole, but it does seem strange there's no kind of recycling building, even if it was a horribly inefficient one. Otherwise, you do end up with useless items that you just shove in a box and shoot. They are small issues, and there are mods to address nearly all of them. I would show some examples, but if I look at the mod page, I might not be coming back. The modding scene is truly sprawling, so enter if you dare. I can't recommend Factorio enough. It can truly suck you in. 1.0 may be here, but the developers are threatening to release more updates. I don't think I should be allowed to see them for my own safety. You can buy it from GOG at the pinned link, but at no current discount because I think they realize they're selling virtual crack. At least you have 30 days to try it compared to Steam's 2 hours. Losing control of my life has never been so convenient. However, October is coming. I talked about ghosts and ghouls last year, but no aliens. We'll have aliens this year. I'll see you then.
That's it? Oh, there's more.
Doing that.
Oh my god, this game is good. First of all, the objective is to build a rocket to leave. But I guess once you're done with everything, you won't want to leave, right? I mean, I created all this fucking factory. Is this even a factory or just fucking city of a factory? I don't even know anymore. All this factory, all this automation, robots, nuclear fucking trains, everything automated. This is my world now. I'm king of this place. Why the fuck would I leave now? So would you even want to leave? This is such a good game. I mean, this has just right elements that would suck me in. Like he said, it's like a crack, right? So I'm kind of afraid to play it too. Like if I start playing it, I won't be able to stop. I love building shit, and if it's complex like that, it would be really fun to use your mind to, I guess, create different type of things. It would be really fun to see, you know, some channel that, you know, collects everybody's clips or videos, that everybody just creates their own factories to see diversity of how different way everybody does things. But yeah. Right, people, that was Factorio review by MandaloreGaming. The channel is good, right? The review was, I guess, decent enough. I guess he was talking about Seth when he talked about Ritalin, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Seth's review title had Ritalin in it too, but I don't know. But yeah. Alright, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe. Check out the reaction, there's a link in the description. Check out the cards, check out the ink cards, and comment down if you want me to react to more from this channel or what. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time.